Sorry about that, everybody. It appears the microphones were turned off for some reason. Anyway, you're listening to WNYO on 88.9 FM, Oswego, New York. This is Laker Radio, your music, your way. This is Will's Fantasy Hour, and I'm your host, DJ William. Welcome, everybody, to another, what I hope to be, fantastic show. And it will, if I have my way with it. All right.
Yeah, you have guests, don't you?
Yeah, just have your way with this show.
Who are the guests, Will?
Well,
would you like to introduce them?
They're unnamed voices.
I was just about to.
They're unnamed voices that are interrupting him because they just want to ruin his life.
Yes. I mean,
That's all we're here for.
I don't consider you guys guests anymore. I consider you family. But
wow.
Yes. Joining me in the studio, we have my good friends, Paul Emerald.
Yay!
And Thomas Beck.
Yeah.
It's good to see you guys again. Thomas, good to have you on the show again.
Thank you for having me.
That's no problem. So, tonight we begin another show. And let me just say, I'm very excited for a couple of reasons. It's February now. The snow is melting. Valentine's Day is fast approaching. And you can bet we're going to do a program on that. Ooh. Something related to that next week. And with it comes, melting snow, life, rebirth, change. And,
oh my God.
And as we change, we must grow as well. So, with growth, I feel like it's time for me to introduce a new segment to this show. And I'm so excited for this, I even created an audio-visual introduction for it. Ooh. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newest segment on Will's Fantasy Hour, otherwise known as Rustle My Jimmies.
Is that rustling in the bush?
Rustle, rustle, rustle.
That really rustled my jimmies.
Okay, for those who could not see, basically that was a bush rustling and Jimmy Neutron was inside of it. Paul saw that. He enjoyed it, right?
I didn't see it because I can't see the computer.
Oh my gosh.
Right, yeah, sorry. That took me 45 minutes to make, and it's only 10 seconds long. Finding clips is hard. Anyway, so this is a new segment on the show called Rustle My Jimmies, because Grind My Gears has already been done, and I like memes. So, what is this segment about for those who don't know about memes? Good question. Rustle My Jimmies is basically me getting angry about stuff and talking about how much I don't like it. Now, I know that you're saying that I do that a lot. I have a lot to complain about. But this time, we're talking concentrated anger. In one specific, pure, concentrated anger.
Raw anger.
In one specific spot. And I'm going to say
anger strong enough to break concrete.
Yes. And I'm going to say some opinions that maybe they're a little controversial. Maybe you don't like them. But you know what? They're mine, and I get to say them. So let's begin with the first statement, something that really rustles my jimmies.
Oh, boy.
You know what really rustles my jimmies, guys?
What?
The Super Bowl halftime show.
Oh, my God.
We need to talk about it, all right? NFL, you hear me? Looks like there's something you're good at besides giving all of your players irreparable brain damage that'll ruin the rest of their lives.
Oh, dang.
You are really good at disappointing your fan base, or not even your fan bases. You're bad at disappointing people who wanted to see something spectacular. For those of you who don't know, the NFL got a petition that wants them to play Sweet Victory from SpongeBob, a classic song that invokes such powerful, raw emotions of joy and victory inside of us.
Guess what happened?
They didn't do it. They didn't.
They showed a 5-second clip of Squidward and the whole band from that one episode. And that's it. And then Sicko Mode.
Yes. Travis Scott's Sicko Mode.
That's a disappointment.
Yeah, I'm sicko of Sicko Mode. It's terrible. And you know what? This is the worst of both worlds, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Because the people who wanted this do not get the dedication to Steven Hillenburg that they wanted for all of his great work, for all of his dedication. And other people can be like, what the heck is this? SpongeBob SquarePants? That's a cartoon. That's for babies. I came here for the big, strong, manly sport of football. That's what football people sound like in my head.
Yeah,
all right.
I'm sure of it.
All right. Yeah. Then there's a lot of other things. Guys, you know what else rushes my jimmies?
What?
Cartoon Network is bad at airing shows.
Explain?
Honestly?
Okay, let me explain a couple of things. What do you normally see when you watch Cartoon Network? Is
Teen
it
Titans
Teen
Go.
Titans? Yeah, exactly. Teen Titans Go. You know why? Because it's on 19 hours every single freaking day.
You know-
or at least it feels like it.
You should see the schedules online.
Yeah.
It's like I think the color they used on the schedule is yellow.
Yes.
Like 70% of the schedule is yellow.
It's a
It says Teen
sea
Titans
of
Go
yellow.
everywhere.
And it's bad, so it's like a sea of piss. Piss everywhere.
Oh my god.
It's terrible. Teen Titans Go, you know what? A lot of people have talked bad about it. I'm not going to talk bad about it anymore. Do I like it? No. Do I wish the old stuff came back? Yes, because that's what I grew up with and that's what I enjoy. But you know what? You cannot sufficiently play one cartoon 19 hours a day for all the time. Because even if it's your most profitable show, you know what? Other people are going to want to watch other things. And the other shows, which have been around since 2010, have been really mismanaged. Adventure Time was off for 1.5 years, or it felt like it, and then they came back, and it's like, oh, season finale. And it's like, what?
What just happened?
Who? What? Where? When? Why? Why did this happen? What is the other story? I really haven't cared enough because you haven't been showing it.
You know, the thing with Teen Titans Go, they know that people hate them for so many different reasons. And, you know, the main reason we're talking about how they're scheduled almost the entire day.
Exactly.
And they don't take it off the air. Instead, they make jokes in the show.
Right.
They don't care.
They don't. They say like, oh, people hate us, but lol,
Lol.
JK fam dab. And it's like, you know what? That just irks me even more. You can ignore us, but you make fun of us, and that gets even worse. And that's what they want. They want to get a rise out of us. And congratulations, it worked. My jimmies have been rustled. I hope you're happy. Oh, and let's talk about something else. Steven Universe. You know what about that show?
What?
You know what? It's a good show, and I like it very much. But
Alright.
they handle the airing schedules very poorly. They show 6 new episodes in a row, and then we wait for 8 months for new ones to come out. That is an unreliable business plan. You know
Jeez,
what?
losing
You can
viewers
get
and
people excited for your show. And I will fully admit, the season finale, season 6, what was supposed to be the end of the original story arc planned by its creator, got a lot of mentions on IMDb and is rated one of the highest cartoon episodes, even above the finale to Adventure Time, and rated above several Game of Thrones episodes.
Oh, wow.
Which is very impressive. But you have to understand that you don't need high numbers. Just that. High numbers are good, but it's not good enough. You need constant information. If you had a more reliable schedule, you would get more people interested, your viewership numbers would be consistent and high, and it would make the progressions just feel so much better.
Probably up the ratings, too, if I'm being honest.
It would. It probably would. But you know what? We've got a movie coming out. I don't know what's going to be about that. It's probably going to be okay, but they can't do anything interesting because it's a non-canon movie. At least I assume it's non-canon. Whenever they do a movie about a cartoon that has recently come out, it's usually non-canon.
Exactly.
But it could be interesting, but it can't change anything. So why do we even bother seeing it? I mean, I'm going to see it because I'm a huge fan of the show, and I want to see it. Because then, when I see the movie, if there are no more episodes, if we know there are going to be no more episodes, I can finally put this to rest and give my retrospective on it, like I did with Adventure Time. Thomas, you were there. I did my best with that, and that was an episode that personally I'm very proud of.
Yeah, I know. That was... I actually loved being there for that show as well. That was such like a roller coaster, honestly.
It was a very passionate episode for me, and I quite loved
Yeah.
it. All right. Now, in a similar vein, you know what else rustles my jimmies, guys?
What?
Nickelodeon. Yeah, Nickelodeon, we're not saving you either, okay? You know what, Nickelodeon? You haven't had a good original animated show in years.
And they ruined SpongeBob.
And,
Dang.
well, maybe. I've heard from some people that SpongeBob is getting better. But you know what? I have jumped off that bandwagon. I've crashed into the side of the road. I'm covered in mud. I'm not getting back on your bandwagon. And
Same
I
here.
don't care. And you might be saying to yourself, oh, that's just one viewer. We have literally hundreds of thousands of viewers, so we don't care. But you know what? You should care. You know, you spend years with your horror stories and your body dysmorphia with SpongeBob, bringing it down to the absolute creepiest, darkest depths and making it horrible. And you know what? You suffered for it. Maybe things are better now. I don't know, but I don't care.
You lost all your childhood viewers. All the kids
Yeah, pretty much
who have
just
grown
lost
up.
all of us.
Basically all of us. Yeah, all of us who have grown up to be adults. we can't stand the show because of that.
Right. And then now you're pandering to us, the nostalgic 90s viewers, with your direct-to-TV movies for Rocko's Modern Life and Invader Zim and the one they did for Hey Arnold to wrap up all of the loose ends because you didn't let the show finish its natural course.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad to see it come back in like the modern day, but I'm not glad the fact that they just kind of killed the shows off.
They did do that. And you know what? That makes me unhappy.
It really doesn't make up for it.
You know, I have to say, Will, when you said rage, I was just expecting like haha rage, but no, this is just like
No, I'm actually
this is
angry.
This is
Unbridled anger.
like unbridled anger. Just
this is hidden deep within my reserves
I'm just
of power.
imagining a like a red ring just to end up on your finger.
I own one. Actually, I do keep one in my closet.
Wow.
I should have worn it today for occasions just like this one, but no one else was going to see it, so
Yeah.
I don't know. Who am I
Fair
talking
enough.
I mean, at least we get to see it, you know?
Yeah,
how angry
that's
you're going to
true.
be.
All right, 2 more points, and I'm keeping it reserved to cartoons because my jimmies have been rustled among other things, but if I talk about everything that irks me, we'd be here all night. So, you know what else really rustles my jimmies, guys?
What?
The Legend of Korra is not as good as the original Avatar.
Oh, yeah. Not
That's
nearly.
expected.
Not nearly as good.
I understand, with sequels, we're gonna have a bit of a disconnect, where we're gonna tell a different story, and maybe things are gonna be a little different. But you know what? Not that different, and it's just not as good in many different ways. And we'll start off with the base root of that problem. Let's talk about Korra. Okay, so the main reason why Korra, in my eyes, is bad from the first season is because we establish her character as, she has mastered 3 out of the 4 elements. She's really cocky, and then she goes for more training. And you know what? I am not interested in that. I'm tired of watching overly cocky D-holes go and be like, I am the best, and then get taken down a notch, and then learn humility. And then through that humility, they will learn the thing that they were missing inside of them all along. Jesus Christ, put a gun up to my head. It's too much. It's happened too much and too often.
This is. I understand like that. I understand. I hate that sort of arc too, where it's like
Same.
I am the strongest.
You're not exactly, though.
Exactly.
Just learn a couple of things. No. I can't stand that
There
either.
are so many people like this. In fact, one of my least favorite examples of this is a little yellow-haired terrible person named Katsuki Bakugo. From My Hero Academia.
I haven't watched that.
He's
so I don't know.
basically a grenade in human form, and he's I am the hotness. No one can beat me. I'm super awesome. Screw all you guys. I'm going to be the number 1. And it takes him literally 3 seasons of a TV show to be like, maybe my outlook on life isn't as good as I had originally thought. And maybe this child I've been basically emotionally and mentally abusing since I was 5 years old isn't as bad as I originally thought. And maybe I don't need to, just kill him.
I mean, fair enough.
Yeah. And also, something else I want to talk about with Korra. I'm sorry if we're looping back for a second. Let's talk about bad guys. Because the most important thing besides a good hero is a good villain. Okay? Avatar. We had Aang. We had a reluctant hero. We had a goofball. Someone who can easily relate to. Not Korra. And then we were pretty much immediately introduced to the Fire Nation, a group of just despots and rulers who have been subjugating people for decades. And, most of them are blank, faceless people, but we didn't care. They looked menacing. They did cool stuff, okay? Now let's talk about the cult from the beginning of Korra. Because
the Blood Pure guys,
the
right?
Blood Pure guys, yes, who are like, bending is awful and you're all terrible and watch me suck out this guy's bending. And then Korra's like, what? That shouldn't be possible. Only Aang gets to remove bending, the Avatar and such. And right at the beginning, we've got a mystery of who is this cult? Who is this guy who's leading the cult? And I'm like, I do not care. I really don't. Because, yeah, it's a cult. It's big and it's also faceless. But you're supposed to give us someone to attach and hold on to. You show us some religious zealot who just wants to suck out people's bending because racism, and I can't get on that train. I can't.
I remembered like only one person from the Fire Nation being Zuko, but really just like
Right. That's fair.
This cult. I don't even remember half of it, honestly.
Right. I mean, in the first 2 episodes of Avatar, who are we introduced to from the Fire Nation? Prince Zuko, his uncle Iroh, and the general guy.
The general guy, yeah.
Yeah,
fair
the
enough,
general
yeah.
who would be in season 1 and then was also cocky and then got eaten by a giant fish monster.
I mean, I can see why you don't know his name.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's dead before season 1, sure. But he was there. He had a face. He served as something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right. Last one. Last opinion for the night. And this is going to be my most critical opinion.
Oh, boy.
You ready, guys?
I'm ready.
Okay. Now, this is a question I need you all to think really hard about. Is Rick and Morty just a bunch of edgy garbage?
Ooh. Good question.
Because let's think
You're
about
right. It is.
Yeah. Let me, because I want to think about this
It's
for
a bunch
second.
of nihilistic people just being like explaining of science by like, oh, life is meaningless. It's like, wow, tell us something we don't know already.
Exactly. Okay. So, yeah, edgy garbage. Because here's my thought about this. I'm going to be honest. I watched Rick and Morty, and I liked Rick and Morty. However, I will say, and I think other people would agree with me, that I was really disappointed in the 3rd season. Now, admittedly, I understand why it was suffering. You know, Dan Harmon, one of the show's main creators, was going through a messy divorce, and obviously that would have a serious effect on someone's mental well-being, and obviously a little bit of that is going to bleed into your work, you know.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
However, most of the episodes for season 3 are so just generic and like it's trying to be clever, but it's really not. So, what do people most remember from season 3?
Szechuan
Memes.
sauce.
Szechuan sauce,
yeah.
Pickle
Rick.
Rick.
That's 2 episodes out of 12. So, yeah, you can remember 2 episodes out of 12. I remember the episode where they showed a bunch of superheroes and then they played Saw, and it was basically like all the superheroes are meaningless and nonsense and blah, 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 blah.
Pretty much like the concept of the show.
Yeah, and it's like, you know what? You're trying too hard, okay? It's too edgy. Like, oh, don't cut yourself on all of that edge. Like, you want to make your cruel social commentaries, but you know what? You can't just make social commentary over and over and over the same thing again, because then it loses all of its effect.
Exactly.
Every single one. I can't think of one really deep emotional thing from season 3 that still really like sticks with me. I could still think of it for 2. I can even think about it for 1 a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but season 3 is the season you just associate with the 2 most I guess quintessential Rick and Morty things.
Right. The 2 biggest memes and a storyline that doesn't go anywhere and just basically repeats the same message of nothing you do matters. Here's an idea. Look at it from the other side of the coin, which someone has said. Rick has the ability to do anything and everything, potentially, and he spends it being an alcoholic crybaby.
Yeah.
I think people need to look themselves in the mirror and consider, is Rick and Morty good, or are we just all a bunch of nihilistic nerds? And I think the answer can be found somewhere in between those 3 things.
Honestly, yeah, that's sort of like a statement. Are we all just nihilists? Is sort of like a thing that's being pretty common nowadays. Have you seen Black Mirror?
I have. It's Twilight Zone, but with technology.
Yeah, Twilight Zone with technology. My mom is totally afraid of that show. She's like, it's too real for me. She actually has said that. But like her thing about it is just like there's this one episode, 15 Million Merits, and in it, the guy, he revolts against the system. And the guys like in charge are like, you're right. We're running out of unique things. But what you just did there was pretty unique. Want to work for us? And he does.
Technology.
He beat the system, but still lost.
Yeah, because at the bottom, at the end of the day, the message goes, you can beat the system, but that doesn't mean you're out of the system.
Yeah. I remember there's this one theory about the Matrix where it's just like, they're not out of the Matrix. The Matrix knew that there'd be people to reject it, so it just made this world in order for them to be violent and thus pacifist.
Are you good?
I forgot the word.
Pacifist?
Pacifist.
Pacified?
Pacifying them, yes.
That took you a while.
Yeah. Sometimes I think of the word, but then I immediately forget how to pronounce it.
Yeah, I get the feeling as well.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
I'm going
my
to be
God.
honest, I feel better now.
That was fun to
Feels good.
watch you,
Yeah,
honestly.
you were just like that. That seemed to be like
I've never seen anyone
days
so angry.
of
It's
rage.
angry, and it's also the physicality.
Yeah.
That, you know what? They can't see it, but you guys appreciate it, and that means the world to me.
Yeah, like the angriest nerd I've ever seen is angry video game nerd, and that's just a character. That was genuine what came from you.
Yeah, honestly, I've never seen genuine anger in that way.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So why don't we take a bit of a break now?
Yeah, take a breather.
Let us
That's what
recharge, and we'll come back in a little bit. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And you're listening to WNYO on 88.9 FM, Oswego, New York. This is Laker Radio, your music, your way. This is Will's Fantasy Hour, and I'm your host, DJ William. Welcome, everybody. Paul, Tom, you're still in the studio with me.
Yes, we are. We wouldn't
no.
leave in the middle of the show, or else that'd be very awkward.
It would be very awkward. I don't like doing the show by myself anymore since I've had so many people on it for so long.
Fair enough.
I've forgotten what it's like to talk to myself, and I'm afraid of what's going to happen when
I don't want to be on my own radio show, and you're not there, Paul.
Exactly.
Actually, our radio show, I should
Our
say.
radio.
Oh yeah, you too do have a radio show called 90s at 9,
Oh,
which you
yeah.
can hear Thursdays at 9 o'clock on WNYO 88.9 FM, Oswego, New York. # shameless plug.
Yeah, there's also, I think we have a promo. If a branch comes up, a commercial break comes up, we should probably play that. Our promo for our show.
We'll look into it.
Yeah, you just throw it in there. We
Yeah,
get some,
I'll see what we can do.
airtime on the
But,
show.
this computer is complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, when we left for commercial break, you heard that I got very angry.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I was. You know what? I had that pent up inside of me, these thoughts and these feelings for a very long time. And you know what? Felt good to get them out.
Nice.
Felt good to watch you.
Yeah.
Like it was interesting to watch because I know you and you're like you're just like a big teddy bear, but that just like the teddy bear turned into Wolverine.
Yeah. I'm the teddy bear, but I
Tasmanian
turned
devil.
into I was gonna say Ted from the movie Ted, but that one's also pretty tame.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Compared to some other
Compared
things.
to that Ted is just
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Like an actual Wolverine, not Wolverine like...
I turned into Chucky,
Yeah.
basically.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah. But everyone's got anger inside of them. And, I think that's fair to say.
Yeah, but that
yeah.
was just like a very like that was just like a very like a child show like answer. Everyone's got some anger in them.
Well, I don't know.
Try to
if
sound
you-
innocent.
I do talk in a very weird way. But
whatever.
it's to segue into my next bit, which is to say that everyone gets angry, some of us a little more than others, and for some people, that's their entire personality.
Honestly, I have good temperament.
Yeah.
I never really get super, super angry.
Exactly.
Except around my brothers.
Let's talk about that for a moment, though.
Oh, is this like psychology sessions with Will?
No, this isn't about why are you angry, why did the kids leave you? Why did
That is exactly what I just said.
No, this isn't that.
This
We're
is
not
exactly that.
So
Tom,
we're not going to call it that?
No, we're not going to call this a psychology session. No. Instead,
Have a
let's
nice evening,
examine
couch.
some people who just use rage and their anger as their main defining feature.
boy.
Because there's a lot of them out there, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah. Alex Jones.
Yes. But this is the realm of science fiction and fantasy. And that man, while he lives in a world of science fiction and fantasy, he's a little too real for my liking.
Oh, yeah.
These are their plans, people.
Yes.
I mean,
destroy the child.
the one thing I'm okay with him ever saying... The one thing I'm okay with him ever saying is subscribe to PewDiePie, even though I'm not going to do it.
Did he ever say
that?
He said that?
He said that in a video.
What?
I'm actually not joking.
Why and how? Does he
I
even...
don't know where it came from, honestly.
Because people were just like, you know what? Sure, let's jump onto the subscribe to PewDiePie bandwagon
Of all
because
people.
it's just
Yeah,
funny.
Of all
Wow.
people, Alex Jones.
I thought he would have yelled at him knowing who PewDiePie was because he's a Swedish. And
No, PewDiePie actually got he's
Oh,
getting
he got slated by the Wall Street Journal for
he's getting railed by
Yeah.
Well, he-
some-
when
said
is-
the N-word, and
Yeah,
then people
no.
were accusing him of Nazism.
right, yeah, but that was like last
Anti-Semitism.
year. That
Yes.
was months and months ago.
yeah, and people are
Now
just
he's calmed
still
down a little bit.
thinking
Oh, yeah.
he's a Nazi.
You know what? He's fine enough.
He's cool.
Right. I was just saying. That's what I was saying because I'm surprised Alex Jones would say that because PewDiePie is Swedish. And that would make him a foreigner. And you say the word foreigner, and I assume Alex Jones starts foaming at the mouth.
Ever see that one video where it's just edited like Alex Jones will destroy the attackers of InfoWars, and it's just an edited clip of him just running after this dude across the street.
Sounds amazing.
I think I've seen that clip. It might have been something different, like a different edit that I've seen, but I've definitely seen the clip of him running across the street after someone.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, but let's talk about angry science fiction fantasy people. Here we go. First off, let's talk about, I think, the most famous one, the guy who gets angry. I think we're all thinking of him.
Who?
I don't know.
Oh.
The guy who gets the anger. It's like, wow, that's a lot of people you're
Yeah.
describing there, bud.
That's true. All right, let's just start off with the easiest one I think everyone's going to know. The Hulk.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
there we
fair
go.
enough.
There we go.
He gets angry and green.
I mean, that's the only reason the Hulk exists.
Yeah.
Bruce Banner gets angry.
Yes, that's his whole thing. He was a scientist, and then he got shot with the radiation and such, and now he's a giant green rage monster.
Pretty much.
Yeah. An unkillable giant green rage
Oh,
monster,
yeah.
I might add. He got killed once, I think, or twice in the comic books. And actually, you know who killed him recently, which is
Who?
kind of amazing?
Wait, who?
Hawkeye.
No way.
Yeah.
Hawkeye?
Hawkeye.
Killed the Hulk.
Yes, with a special arrow tipped in something. I don't know. I didn't
Oh.
read it entirely, but yeah. And then he came back later, and Hawkeye's like, "Oh, I felt guilty about killing him, but now I'm like, he might come after me, and I'm gonna be turned into like paste."
Yeah. I'd imagine.
Yeah. I remember there's this this one comic book story where the Hulk got Bruce surgically removed from him.
Ooh.
I know,
How?
right? He was like, "Yo, Dr. Doom, I don't like having puny Banner," and then Dr. Doom was like, "Okay, solution: I clone Banner, but I take some of Banner's DNA, make a clone of him, cut out all the brain bits that are Banner's brain, and just put it into that Banner clone, and then we just have Then the Hulk was like, "Cool, now I need to go." Now that I'm naked, I need to go steal some pants.
Preferably purple ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, the purple ones.
It's striking, green, purple. It's a very good color combination.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
I honestly, it fits pretty well for him.
Yeah.
I mean, this little green alien here in the studio, I'd imagine it fits pretty well for him. No one can see this except us, but there's like a little green stuffed alien thing here in the studio.
Yeah, we could put some purple pants on that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that'd be like-
He'd rock them for sure.
But we
Yeah.
need some purple pants for that man right now.
You know what? Let's get some crocheting skills together, and we'll knit some purple pants for him.
Sounds
and
brilliant.
because we're making them, we'll make them Gucci.
Paul, you're not okay.
Paul, do you have a problem?
No, I think I'm actually at the tail end of a cold, so
That would do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who else turns big and ragey and just wrecks a lot of stuff?
Oh, crap.
Well,
Why am I forgetting his name?
who?
Eddie Brock?
Venom.
Venom? Eddie Brock?
Yeah, I will. Maybe. You know what? I might.
I mean, it's not Eddie's fault.
No, it's not Eddie's fault. The symbiotes are like weird.
Yeah.
And there's a canonical thing that basically says that when they bond with someone, if their like personalities don't sync up by even a tiny little bit, they could turn into giant monsters who eat people. So
Wonderful.
the margin for error there is very, very tiny. Very tiny.
Yeah.
Jeez, I think the Earth's living space in their solar system is a bit more bigger margin of error than that.
Yeah.
If I had one of those symbiotes, I'd be the one eating people. Honestly.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't match up with the personality of the symbiote at all.
Maybe.
Yeah, aren't like most symbiotes?
They're all different like personalities and such.
Oh,
And-
okay, never
right.
mind.
But I mean, there are some people that I definitely like to eat. You know, just thinking about some people who I don't like, or some people who I really don't like.
Ooh. Getting back on this anger topic again.
Yeah. No, it's boiling below the
Paul,
surface.
are you good?
I'm good. I'm good.
He's
I'm
just
good. I'm
on the
good.
table
We
Well,
talked
it's-
about eating people, and then you're like, I can't contain
He's
myself.
on the table.
It's just I'm just thinking of just like just
he's
you
talking-
just
he's
going
thinking
around,
oh.
just people just like you eating them.
Pulling a Shaggy and just being like, put them in a sandwich and then just dislocate my jaw like a snake. And then
He's using like 5% of his power there to do that. The Shaggy memes.
I hate those Shaggy memes. I really don't like them because it's the same joke over and
I
over
know.
again. And then they're like, put Shaggy in Mortal Kombat 11. And I'm
That's
like,
actually a thing, though. I know.
I
it's
know.
weird.
And like, I will
It's
only.
not happening,
I
though.
will.
Yeah.
I would say, I will only accept it if one of his fatalities is he turns his opponent into a sandwich and then eats them. That's the-
Sandwichality.
yeah, that's the only fatality that I would enjoy because
Yeah.
that's funny
Oh yeah.
and gory. Oh my god! Speaking of Mortal Kombat 11, dude, have you seen gameplay footage for that?
I haven't.
Yeah, it seems pretty chill.
It's
Chill.
like
He just says chill, as it seems pretty cool.
oh,
I don't
okay.
think he actually means it's pretty chill, pretty lax.
I was gonna say yeah, like they
You know.
really toned down the murder and stuff, and like they're just hanging out.
Now, like the murder seems pretty.
I know this guy well enough that I know his like little
His
things.
quirks?
He says. Yeah, his little what's the word?
Quirks,
No, the word like
tendencies,
lexicon or something like that.
lexicon kind of
his idioms,
idioms
His isms.
his mannerisms.
mannerisms. That's the word.
Excellent. Okay, yeah. Mortal Kombat 11 looks amazing.
yeah.
Like,
imagine.
you think to yourself, man, it can't get any gorier than this, and you're wrong.
Oh,
You're so wrong.
honestly, there should be like a rule, like I don't know, 84 something. I just came up with a random number. If it exists, it can get gorier.
Yeah. Gore.
That's Mortal Kombat for you.
Yeah, gore is an ever increasing slope.
Yeah,
with
there's
no
just
serious dips.
You have infinite possibilities when it comes to that. Just get higher and higher on that level of gore.
Right.
Yeah, actually, the funny thing about gore is
What
that
is the funny thing about gore?
it originally meant unknown. So it's like, so then someone says, "Oh, that's a gory mask." They're like, "Yeah, we don't know what this is." There's like we just know it's this, but we just don't know what.
Right.
Yeah.
And now in this case, we're very specific about what did what.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, my wrist blade entered your mouth and escaped through your brain cavity.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, one of those.
Lovely.
Lovely.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Sounds
We'll
like
make
a
some
literal-
tea with
you know-
me later.
The way you describe that as well, it makes it sound like a literal blade. Your wrist blade.
Yo,
like the
that's
motion
one of those
you
things
made
like
with your hand.
wrist blade, and then
Yeah,
and then
but
through
it's-
the
Oh,
and
yeah.
then up the d.
But now it just sounds like an actual blade to me.
He thinks like the Assassin's Creed like a hidden blade thing.
Yeah, I know
Kinda
exactly
like
what
that.
you talk. I know exactly what you mean, but still, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah,
It's one of those.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's think. Who else gets really, really angry? Well, there's an entire there's an entire Lantern Corps dedicated to being angry all the time.
Oh, I wonder which one it is.
It's the red one.
You slipped and said red, so
I
I
did.
assumed it was red.
Well, I mean, you can assume that it's red because
Yeah.
red is the color that people most commonly associate with anger.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. It
Like
would make a
all
lot
the
of
time.
sense.
If someone gets angry, they're probably turning red.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, probably one of my favorite Red Lantern has to be the cat.
Yes,
cat?
Dexstar.
Death Star. He
No,
is a
Dexstar.
Death Star.
Death Star.
No,
Death Star the cat. Yeah, I know.
No,
Death
Death
Star.
Star.
Good
He's-
one, Paul.
He's just like a like he is just like a
He's a cat.
he's a cat
Yeah.
that like had like a very
Traumatic experience.
like-
His whole family got wiped out by Amazo, the adapting android.
Oh.
and then these robbers threw him off a bridge. And he was just so angry. A Red Ring was just like, "Yo, that's cool."
I'ma
And
just
You want to
jump
get in on
over
this?
here, you know.
yeah, and so Dexstar is just he's just so angry. He killed the robbers and then just like end up flying around into space and stuff.
And join the rest of the Red Lantern Corps.
enough.
Yeah, and their special ability is that they get so angry that they can't form proper constructs sometimes, and so they just spit this like red corrosive goo substance.
Jeez.
It's disgusting. Yeah, if
Honestly,
you ever wanted to kill your enemies with projectile vomit, this might be
Become a Red Lantern.
the
Get
organiza-
really angry and hope a Ring is just like, yo, you're cool.
Yeah,
Honestly, but yeah, there's like this. But also the thing about the Red Lanterns is like like how like most other power rings you can take off.
yes.
This one you can't.
It's just stuck on there, isn't it?
It's stuck on there. It's like that is a second heart.
Yeah.
Like actually no, that is a heart now. Like your real heart doesn't matter.
And it just channels all your emotions towards anger, doesn't it?
like it takes like it's gonna make
It's powered by hatred.
it's powered by
yeah.
hatred. Like, but it's never gonna try to influence rage more than other emotions.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Who else gets really angry? What about Azora from Azora's Wrath?
Oh, that thing. I remember
Are you
that
familiar
game.
with
Yeah.
that?
I'm just whoosh.
All right. Well, let me explain this short. Azora's Wrath was a game for the Xbox 360 released, I'm going to be liberal and say about 9 to 10 years ago. Like in the infancy of the Xbox infancy. It was developed by Capcom. It is infamous for having the last 2 chapters of its game as paid DLC.
Ooh, I don't like that.
Yeah, that was really early on.
That's like that's not even. EA has never done that, have they?
Oh, they've probably done it. I don't know.
Well, that
They're-
sounds like
they're-
a really EA
they're
thing
like
to do.
They're like the scum of the scum.
Oh yeah, honestly.
Really. So they also make me angry, but we'll get into that another time. But it was basically it was a game trying to be an anime. Because it's not as bad as it sounds. It's broken up into chapters. There are large cutscenes. And the way that they frame some of their shots and the style, definitely you could see it in the style. It's built like an anime.
Yeah, fair enough.
And you've got main character, betrayed Azora, who is like god of punching things and being angry.
You just described like almost all fighting characters.
Yeah,
right there.
good at punching things and being angry. He's betrayed by the rest of the 8, 9 gods.
I don't know how many gods there are,
Then-
my man.
Right. So they were like superhuman beings, and then they established themselves as gods, and they basically make the people pray for them or they die. And so they gain immense power, and then they become like, they became basically like super gods. And then Azora came around after being in hell for 100 years because they killed him. And then he's like, this is not right. I am going to murder all of you and get my daughter back who you stole. By the way, they stole his daughter. Yeah. So that's also not good.
Nice one.
Yeah.
That sounds like an awesome subtitle right there. Like just like side comment, just like
You know,
it's
by
like,
the way, they stole his
Azora,
daughter.
God, it's like man who was in hell for 1,000 years who promised to kill the gods. Also, they stole his daughter.
Yeah. Like, so it's like, oh, this is bad. And then you read the subtitles like, oh, it's really bad.
Oh,
Yeah. And
Really bad.
the cool thing about him is that all the gods prey on basically like souls and prayer and such.
Yeah.
And then the more they get, the stronger they get. But Azora is the god of wrath. So basically, he's self-sustaining. Where the angrier he gets, the harder he punches,
And-
the angrier he gets. So he can
Yeah.
potentially keep getting bigger and bigger and stronger.
oh, what a concept.
It is a concept. I could use a little fuel myself, and we could all use a little chain.
Honestly, if you were Azora, this entire campus center would probably not even exist anymore. It'd be in rubble. It'd be rubble.
Like the last
Dreams.
Like the
I'm sorry. Like that's maybe a wrong dream to have because there's like 1,000
Yeah,
people
it
who
is.
go.
that is a really wrong campus.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't want to kill anybody, but I would love to have that one experience that you see in anime where someone gets really powerful.
West Campus would be destroyed by now if you were Azora.
If, like to the point where like the ground beneath them begins to quake and it turns into a crater.
Ooh.
You know that one where you're powering up and it's like the aura and then the ground underneath
Yeah,
you just
yeah,
cracks.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, I want that for myself so bad.
Oh my gosh.
Although
That
speaking of
brings
anime
thought.
characters gets really angry. You know, there's a lot of them, honestly. It's hard to think of one specifically that I could think of right now. Oh, I've got one. Let's talk about Broly.
Oh.
The legendary Super Saiyan.
I was about to ask, is it Dragon Ball Z? Because I swear I've heard that name before.
Yes.
I don't watch it, but I swear I've heard the name from there
Yeah.
before.
So Broly has had 2 non-canon movies. Actually, no. At this point, he's had 4.
Oh, wow. Wait.
Yeah, 4. We're going
Oh,
to count
wow.
it as 4. 3 in the main thing and 1 in the remake. So the original was the introduction of him, and he is the strongest Super Saiyan. Also, he's like uber ripped. Like if you see anyone in like you know how
Like
when you
he's
see
not
people in-
built like a refrigerator. Refrigerators are built like him.
That's one way. That's an interesting way of putting it. Yeah, I'll go with that. And I think the best way to put it is like He's super jacked, and he's just uber strong. And the only reason apparently that he did this, besides he was born really strong, is that he sat next to he was born like next to Goku in the nursery or whatever, and Goku cried a lot because of course he did, and that just really made him angry, and so
Oh wow. I'm guessing there's a real hatred towards Goku there, isn't it?
yeah, that's his hatred towards Goku. And so I think one of the best provocative images you can get of him, here is Broly right next to Goku, and here's Broly picking him up by his face.
Oh
Picking,
my.
not the head,
Oh my.
exclusively the face.
I see. Yeah. What?
That just reminds me of like Thanos. Like if I can't hit you if I can't hit the
If I can't hit you with the hammer, I'll hit the hammer with you. Yeah, he's very tall.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So yeah, he's uber strong, and it took a lot to kill him. And then in his second movie, The Return of Broly, he was killed in the first one, and he come back as like a ghost or like a zombie or whatever.
Sure.
And the guy who beat him is dead, Goku. Yeah. And so it takes like his two sons and also Goku from the dead. He doesn't come back. He's just like there is like ghost dad encouragement.
Yeah.
And they beat him. And then the third movie he was in was called Bio Broly, where it's basically someone found him, took like a scrap, and he's like, yes, I'm going to clone this. And I did not finish that movie because it starred the two most annoying characters in Dragon Ball Z at the time, Goten and young Trunks.
Oh.
Which,
They don't sound fun.
no, I mean, they're child characters.
Oh god.
And-
Oh god.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, with child characters, it's either really good or really bad. This falls into the bad category. And now we recently got a new one called Super Broly. And
Really creative with the title.
yeah, no. Yeah. And
Mega
it's,
Super Blood.
yeah. And it's basically a reboot. It's kind of they changed his origin story a little bit, where he just like he escaped the doomed planet and he just kind of lived, and he's still super tall and super swole, but just not as much. Like he's a little thinner and just he's a tiny bit thinner. Like here are some pictures for reference. Like that's the
yeah.
original, and there's the swoller version.
Yeah.
And he's greener now.
Well,
Which
yeah, he just turned green.
green and purple.
Oh, green and purple.
and
We're back
purple.
to that
I don't know
again.
if it's a reference.
It's a real
but
trend going
might
on
be,
here,
yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah. But he's just very tall, and he fell in love with this small green woman, which that raises a whole other bunch of questions. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just he's had a lot of movies, and they changed his backstory for some reason,
And his looks.
and his looks a little bit. And there's a lot of different other angry characters that I can think of, but none reach those heights of absolute rage. Really. The people who get so absolutely angry that the entire world goes blind, their vision goes red, and all they know is hate. Mm-hmm. But there's definitely ones out there. However, it's about 10:55 now, so I think our show is over. Thank you guys for coming down, as usual. I've had a wonderful time.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank you for being
Thanks
here.
for having me.
No
For having
problem.
us.
This was a fun one.
This was fun, yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Like it was fun just to stare at you explode in rage
Yeah.
for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And
So-
Tom talk and me, I'm just like,
yeah,
what?
you've just been sitting here like silent half the time.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's always good to talk and observe, and it's always nice to hear your opinions on things. And I'm very glad to have you here. Perhaps you'll be able to join me next week for our Valentine's Day special. Oh, boy. Because even though it's on the 14th, we don't have a show then. But I'm going to talk about love and romance and such. And I got to call out to my special someone. Hi, Aaron. Hope you're listening. But we'll save that for then. Until next time, listeners, true believers, this has been Will's Fantasy Hour. Thank you all for joining us. And remember, stay fantastic. Good night, everybody.